So engineering is really how do you make society better? And the engineering canon and ethics talks about creating improvements in health, safety, welfare, and quality of life for your citizens. And that's been the base point for engineering going back to the Roman Empire days. If you take some of the considerations of what the Roman Empire used to do, some of the Roman roads you hear about, their aqueducts, in general, they took the approach of our citizens were going to have the best infrastructure and the best quality of life. And so in the United States, we pride ourselves on infrastructure and the ability to, have the cleanest water, have sewer systems that work, have road infrastructure. At the city of Foley, from a municipal standpoint, how do we constantly improve the quality of life, uphold the health, safety, the welfare of the community, analyzing problems that we see, and not just determining solutions, but determining what keeps causing this problem. The normal day looks anything but normal. You could come in and be hit with phone calls of, let's say we have situations where we had, like in October, we suddenly had 9 inches of rain on a Sunday afternoon that nobody expected. So you're walking in on a Monday, having to deal with, road damage. You're having to deal with literally a flood of phone calls, dealing with concerned citizens there, taking the time with each one of them, documenting all the evidence, and with kindness and sincerity, because traffic, storm drainage, things like that, those can be emotional issues because they impact you directly.
Like Taylor said, I don't think there is like a normal day, a typical day, because you deal a little bit with everything. Developments coming in and permitting, reviewing them, and citizens. And
like we said, we work with Public Works to look at ongoing issues. For instance, if a road needs to be resurfaced, asphalt only lasts 10 to 20 years, and then it needs to be repaved. And that's the average lifespan around here. And so we're analyzing our roads to see which roads are recommended to be resurfaced in the coming years, within budget. We have a capital budget amount for that.
Currently, right now, the projects in the Mills community, I feel like, are really important. So there's the Mills sidewalk. We're wanting to provide sidewalks. Part of the way along Mills Road, we're trying to build a new park, Mills Community Park, on a piece of City of Foley property. And so the sidewalk will extend essentially around the Mills community, down Mills Road.
We also work on what we call our capital projects. So that would be the Chicago Street road improvements, where we're working on completing a design that's under construction right now. As the city decided to build the new library on the corner of Orange and Chicago in the southeast corner, our elected officials realized the benefit of doing what we call a streetscape project on Chicago Street. As we're building this new library, and then we have the Memorial Park and all the access points, the pedestrian bridge, Chicago Street is kind of that linchpin between the two. And so what we decided to do was, how do we balance traffic for vehicles, balance parking, but we also have to improve our pedestrian connectivity along the way. At the end of the day, we're a small department. We have three of us right now. We're not set up to come in and just work on a certain window of projects, or we're not set up to, someone takes citizen questions and complaints, and someone work on capital projects, and someone work on, dealing with other departments on developmental review. We have to work through all those parameters. I try to move information along as quickly as I can, and I feel like that's better for not only the city, it represents the city and puts the city in a better light. It gets information out to our citizens and our elected officials. I've always joked, if the mayor or councilman, if they're standing in line at the grocery store, there's nothing to stop a citizen from, asking them, where are we at on this project, or why aren't y'all doing this? And, if you just take the approach of, I'm only going to answered the city's needs from 8 to 5, then you're not going to meet the needs of the citizens and meet the needs of our elected officials.
I enjoyed the field work. I like getting out and getting to see it firsthand. So where I came from, I didn't get a lot of that because the work was kind of other locations, maybe even other countries. And so
I'm the same way. I enjoy getting out, getting some sunlight, getting on the ground, because that's where you really see what you've created or what you've envisioned come to fruition.
I don't know any one specific thing. Like, it doesn't run in my family. Just always grew up well in math and science and things like that. And I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life.
I always enjoyed construction, just the ability to make something out of nothing. And whether it be concrete, steel, how roads were laid out, I just enjoyed that. It always intrigued me as a kid.